Hi guys, this is my full review of the Honor Magic V2. I've had this device for about 4 weeks now, using it day in and day out, so I'm pretty sure I can give you my honest opinion about it. So we'll cover everything from design and build quality to both of its displays, performance, software, camera, battery life, and charging, and also connectivity and special features. So without further ado, let's dive into the review. And we're going to start with design and build quality. So what sets the Honor Magic V2 apart and makes it truly special? Well, it addresses the most significant challenge we faced with foldables to date. Normally, foldable phones are bulky and hefty. Premium models felt more like two phones stacked on top of each other, and they were hardly sleek and also hardly pocket friendly. But the Honor Magic V2 changes the game. It's impressively thin and light, 9 grams heavier than a normal iPhone 14 Pro Max. Unfolded, it measures just 4.8 millimeters. And folded, it's only 9.9 millimeters thin, nearly as slim and as light as an iPhone 15 Pro Max. And it only weighs 231 grams, making it the lightest foldable smartphone on the market. But there's more to it than just weight and its slim profile. The Magic V2 boasts another significant advantage over other foldables. The aspect ratio of the front screen is very normal. It mirrors that of a conventional smartphone. It's neither awkwardly tall nor overly wide. Its dimensions are 15.6 times 7.41 centimeters, and it has a 6.43 inch diagonal, and this is just right, making it feel perfectly balanced in the hand. And this combination of features is what makes the Honor Magic V2 not just special, but almost magical. Even after 4 weeks using it daily, it still amazes me how thin and light this phone is and how comfortable it is to hold and to use. The build quality and design exude sturdiness and premium vibes, leaving me almost nothing to complain about. However, one feature I truly miss is an IP rating. So this phone lacks IP certification, which means it has no guaranteed protection against dust and water. Some other words about the build quality. So the device is really perfectly built. It feels very premium. I have the leather back. This feels great. It doesn't attract fingerprints, provides enough grip for holding the phone. The hinge feels very good, very sturdy, not flimsy. And also everything about the outside, how the cameras are implemented, really great build quality, and makes it really reassuring to use this foldable. To sum this up, for design and build quality, I would give the Honor Magic V2 a 9 out of 10, and 1 point is subtracted because of the lack of said IP rating. The next point is display. And of course, we all know that display is a crucial component of any smartphone, but it's even more crucial for foldables because they not only have one screen, but 2 screens. And let me tell you, the displays of the Honor Magic V2 are nothing short of stellar. Both are LTPO OLED screens, which means they're supporting variable refresh rates from 1 to 120 Hz, and this ensures everything is smooth, irrespective of the content you consume. And also the sharpness of the displays is remarkable. Both have a pixel density of 402 ppi, pixels per inch, and the outer screen boasts a resolution of 2376 times 1060 pixels, 6.43 inches diagonally, and the inner screen has a resolution of 2344 times 2156 pixels spread across 7.92 inches. What's special is both screens feature 3840 Hz PWM dimming. PWM is short for pulse width modulation, and this means PWM dimming at a high frequency virtually eliminates screen flickering at low brightness levels. And this is great for people who get nausea, for example, when looking at a dimmed screen that is flickering at a certain hertz level. So PWM, very great. Then let's talk about brightness of the screens. For the outer display, Honor reports that it has a peak brightness of up to 2500 nits, and the inner display, as reported by Honor, has a peak brightness of 1600 nits. Keep in mind, peak brightness is always relevant when you're watching HDR content. So in normal use cases, you will most likely never experience this high peak brightness. But I can tell you, both screens, the outer and the inner screen, are perfectly usable and readable outside, even in bright lighting conditions. Thanks to the OLED technology, the colors are vibrant. Both screens support up to 1 billion colors. They support HDR10 content, so you are able to viewing HDR content on your device. So in general, visual experience, the screens are really awesome. One notable highlight, especially of the inner screen, is that the crease of the screen is just barely noticeable. And I think it's one step behind the OnePlus Open, which has really a super minimal display crease. This is also very minimal. When you look at the device from the front, you will not notice any distortion or any crease. It just looks like a singular display. In summary, both displays of the Honor Magic V2 are really a joy to use, a joy to look at, a joy to consume content on. In summary, I would give the displays also a 9 out of 10. 1 point subtracted because the crease is not as minimal as the crease of the OnePlus Open. Perfect. Now let's talk about performance. So the Honor Magic V2 is equipped with the Snapdragon 8 Gen 2 processor. It has 16 GB of RAM and offers, it depends on where you buy the phone, up to 1 TB of also very fast storage. Despite not featuring the latest processor, my experience with the device performance has been nothing but positive. The system operates smoothly and swiftly. There are no noticeable micro stutters. Apps launch quickly, scrolling is seamless, and this in general contributes to a highly satisfactory user experience, and I haven't encountered any performance issues during daily use and normal use and multitasking whatsoever. Personally, I'm not really into mobile gaming, so I haven't tested the device with any resource-intensive games like Asphalt or Genshin Impact. Therefore, I cannot really speak about its gaming performance. However, most reviews suggest that it can handle such demanding games without trouble. But it's important to note the Honor Magic V2 is not marketed specifically as a gaming phone. So issues like heat dissipation could potentially arise during intense gaming sessions. But overall, using the device, multitasking with it, as I said, also occasionally gaming with it, it's very fine, and the performance is impressive, so I have no criticisms to offer. In summary, I would give the phone an 8 out of 10 because it doesn't feature the newest Snapdragon processor. And now we are approaching an interesting, important and very crucial aspect of this review. Let's talk about software. First and foremost, I have to say I have the global version of the Honor Magic V2, which means all Google services function flawlessly. I've experienced no issues or hiccups with Android Auto, for example, and in general, everything operates just as smoothly and flawlessly like any other globally available Android smartphone. But generally, even the best hardware can fall short without solid software support. And it's commonly believed that the Magic V2 software is kind of a stumbling block for potential buyers. Personally, I find that the software is where the Magic V2 begins to show some weaknesses. In my honest opinion, as it stands, Magic OS 7 doesn't quite match the user experience offered by Samsung's One UI, for example, or by OnePlus's Oxygen OS. And in general, it lacks some features and also it lacks polish. Certain aspects of the interface just feel outdated, particularly in the control center, where you have some odd text alignments, incorrect line breaks, and also incorrect hyphenations. Also, the settings menu suffers from some illogical organization, which could be better. And for those interested in more details on the software, I've already created a comprehensive video focusing on multitasking and another video focusing on common complaints about the software of the Magic V2. So if you are interested in a deep dive into software multitasking, just head over to these videos. A significant discussion point regarding foldable software is the multitasking experience. And some users miss, for example, having a taskbar for quick app switching and also the ability to open more than 2 apps side by side. Personally, I find having 2 apps open simultaneously is sufficient and also less cluttered, even if you have a 7.9-inch screen. Although I think OnePlus Oxygen OS Open Canvas handles this really brilliantly, where you can have 3 apps side by side and switch very elegantly. Besides them, I also did a video about OnePlus Open multitasking if you're interested in this. Nonetheless, I have to say I rarely use more than 2 apps in my daily use. And additionally, the absence of a traditional taskbar is mitigated by having the action bar that you can pull in from the side. And the action bar can be used as a makeshift taskbar, can be used by exchanging apps in dual view, and it can also be used to launch all the floating windows. So another feature I really like on Magic OS on the Honor Magic V2 is that you are able to launch an indefinite number of floating windows, and all the floating windows you opened are neatly organized into their own taskbar. And when you have more than 2 apps or floating windows open, they will be put in the taskbar. Again, for more insights regarding this, also refer to my detailed multitasking video. One issue I have counted is that some apps don't automatically switch to tablet view when the phone is unfolded. YouTube, for example, sometimes open in phone view on the inner screen. Additionally, some apps face scaling issues or fail to auto-rotate or exhibit other display glitches. It's also cumbersome having to adjust app scaling individually for every app in the setting without having an option to do bulk changes, for example. In summary, while the software doesn't hinder my overall enjoyment of the device, there's definitely room for improvement, and I'm really hopeful that Magic OS 8 will rectify many of these issues and with that enhance the user experience of this hardware-wise very awesome device. In summary, I personally would give the software of the Honor Magic V2 a 6 out of 10. The next part of the review is about cameras. And of course, cameras nowadays are a crucial and important feature on modern smartphones. A lot of people choosing their smartphones solely based on camera setup and quality. So how does the Honor Magic V2 fare in terms of camera performance? So as you can see, the Honor Magic V2 has 3 cameras: a wide, ultra wide and a telecamera. The wide and ultra wide both use a 50 megapixel sensor, and the Tele uses a 20 megapixel sensor. The Honor Magic V2 can record video at up to 4K 60 FPS with 10-bit and HDR10 Plus support. And I've already conducted a detailed comparison of the Honor Magic V2's camera, and I compared it against the Samsung Galaxy S24 Ultra. And in this review, I want to provide a brief summary of my findings. If you want to know more details, just head over my camera comparison, because this is quite a lengthy video and there you can really look at several samples from every camera and also some conditions. In summary, I'm always saying the camera of the Honor Magic V2 is good, but it's not exceptional. It's certainly not at the same level as other flagship devices. I always say the main problem of the Magic V2's camera is that it lacks consistency. So what does it mean? It doesn't always produce stable results under varying conditions. For example, under adequate outdoor lighting, both the ultra-wide and the wide lens deliver excellent results, and these results are nearly indistinguishable from those of flagship smartphones like the S24 Ultra or the Pixel 8 Pro, for example. However, the 2.5 times telephoto lens tends to lose quality compared to flagship tele cameras and also compared to the wide and ultra wide lens. And this situation becomes even more challenging in low light or when using special camera modes, for example, like the portrait mode. In such conditions, the camera still manages to produce acceptable results, provided you can keep the camera or the phone steady. For example, if you're trying to capture moving subjects in low light, this results in first decreased quality due to increased ISO and also heavy post-processing to cope with the noise that is introduced due to the high ISO. And in general, I also see a lot of smeared details and also some motion blur, especially when using moving subjects. One mode that is underwhelming, for me at least, on this phone is night mode. With night modes, the images appear usable at first glance when you look at the screen, but if you look closer, you will see that there is significant detail loss and the details get smeared together due to heavy post-processing of the images. And this results in a kind of oil painting effect because you don't have any sharp details anymore. Also, portrait mode on the device is really not that good because it has a lot of problems with edge detection. This leads to artifacts around the subject, and also the background blur that is introduced in portrait mode is really not so convincing, and it doesn't definitely mimic a traditional lens because it just basically cuts out the subject, sometimes quite imprecisely with a lot of artifacts around the subject, and then it basically just blurs the background, but it doesn't blur, for example, the ears or parts of the shoulders like the S24 Ultra can do, for example. So I would avoid using portrait mode on the Honor Magic V2. To bring this all together with the Honor Magic V2, it's really essential to be mindful of the shooting conditions and understand which modes and also lenses yield the best results, right? So point and shooting with the device can sometimes be a little bit hit or miss, as not all conditions suit the mode you might be in. And unlike current flagships with advanced camera systems, they produce consistently stable results even in suboptimal conditions, and the performance of the Honor Magic V2 is a lot more variable. So you sometimes get great photos, but also sometimes photos that are less impressive, and this makes the camera or the camera features or camera modes of the Honor Magic V2 somewhat of a mixed bag. So to sum it up, for camera I'm giving the Honor Magic V2 a 6 out of 10. Now let's talk about another very important part of any smartphone, and this is battery and battery life, battery performance. The Honor Magic V2 features a 5000 mAh dual silicon carbon battery, it's dual because one part of the battery is in one half of the phone and the other part of the battery is in the other part of the phone. And these silicon carbon batteries have an advantage. They can be very compact, but at the same time very energy dense. And this innovation is a key factor in the device's slim design. However, the Magic V2 is limited to wired charging only. It supports up to 66 watts wired charging, and it impressively charges from 2% to 100% in just 54 minutes. It doesn't support wireless charging. My experience with the battery life has been outstanding, honestly. So the phone comfortably lasts an entire day. Normally I'm achieving about 5 to 8 hours screen on time when using the outer screen for about 70 to 80% of the time, and the rest of the time the inner screen. And compared to other foldables like the Pixel Fold or the OnePlus Open, the V2 easily boasts the best battery performance in my opinion. While there are no complaints from me regarding battery life, the addition of wireless charging would definitely be a welcome feature, but I think the disadvantage could be that it would make the phone a little thicker. So for battery life and battery performance, I would give a 9 out of 10. 9 only because there is no wireless charging. The last part of the video is about connectivity, some special features, and price and availability. So the Honor Magic V2 has Wi-Fi 7, Bluetooth 5.3. It has an NFC chip and also an infrared blaster on top here. It supports USB Type-C 3.1, OTG, and also DisplayPort. So you can use it connected to a display, for example via USB-C, or you can also use a USB-C dongle to connect mouse and keyboard while with a wire, or you can also use Bluetooth to connect mouse and keyboard. And for connectivity and special features, and also mainly due to the addition of Magic Desktop, which enhances the productivity of this device, I would give it an 8 out of 10. Price and availability. So the retail price of the Honor Magic V2 is quite steep at about 2,000 euros, 1,999 to be exact in Europe. There have been some pre-order deals offering significant reductions in price, bringing the price down to around 1,600 euros. In general, I believe this is a more reasonable price for the Honor Magic V2. I think 2,000 euros is definitely too much for what you get in the phone. And at the recording of this video, Honor is still offering discounts on their official homepage. So if you're interested, it now might be a good time to buy the phone. I don't know how long they will still offer the discounts. The phone is available in Europe, Asia Pacific, the Middle East, Africa, and Eurasia, Kazakhstan. It's not available in other regions, also not available in the US. So if you want to use this phone in the US, you have to import it. Normally for price and availability, I would give the Honor Magic V2 a 3 out of 10 due to the high price, but I think that Honor will always offer some kind of deal and discount, and they will definitely not continue selling this phone for 2,000 euros. So I'm giving it a 6 out of 10 instead. Let's look at the points now. We had 8 categories and 10 points each, so in total 80 points would be 100%. The Honor Magic V2 got 60 points in total, which translate to 75% of the total 80 available points. And this is due to some outliers in the ranking, some categories where the Honor Magic V2 didn't score very high points, and these outliers were, and that's not very surprising, software, camera, and price. Let's end this video with my verdict, my conclusion, my personal opinion. So, as I already said, using the Honor Magic V2 just feels special. And that's a sensation that easily makes you overlook some of its flaws. And This is similar to another phone I own, the Pixel Fold. Also, the Pixel Fold from Google it's not a perfect device, but it offers a unique experience when using it, and this makes it genuinely enjoyable. And with the Honor Magic V2, it's the same. Every time I pick up this device, I'm amazed by how thin it is, how light it is, how great the screens are, how really optimal the aspect ratio of the front screen is, not to mention the overall quality of the displays. Multitasking is smooth, the device operates quickly and efficiently, the performance is impressive, and this makes it truly a joy to use. And this whole experience using this phone really allows me to look past the shortcomings I've noted throughout this review. Again, I feel the retail price of around 2,000 euros is too excessive, it's too high, and unfortunately this price impacts the overall value for money ratio at this phone. Therefore, I recommend seek out discounts when you're buying this phone at around 1,600. I think this presents a much better value than when you buy it for full retail price at 2,000 euros. In general, I have absolutely no regrets about purchasing it. And let me tell you, I contemplated the purchase of this phone quite a lot, because at the point of purchase I already owned the Pixel Fold and the OnePlus Open, so it was not an easy buy, so to say, but I was so interested in this innovation, in this really hallmark of foldable phone design, because it's just a departure from traditional designs of foldables, that I really had to do it, and I definitely do not regret buying this phone. And that's it for my review of the Honor Magic V2. And now it's your turn. If you like this video, please give it a thumbs up, and also consider subscribing to the channel if you don't want to miss further videos about foldable phones, also Magic V2, in the future. Do you have any questions or thoughts about the phone? Drop them in the comments section below. I'd love to hear what you think about the Honor Magic V2, and I also look forward to welcome you in one of my upcoming videos. Until then, take care and bye.